First of all, I moved in, the war ended I think on the 13th of June in '67, and I got the keys to the house, which I told you about in the previous story, towards the end of the month of June. And the beginning of July I moved in. And so everything that happened afterwards, if you remember, we spoke about the curfew and my meeting with the police, the Israeli police, and how the neighbors suddenly befriended me because they thought I was on their side, and so all that happened. And here it is, October, and I was already feeling comfortable in my place, and the neighbors were nice, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, I think around 2:30 in the morning, I just finished studying and I went to sleep, and I hear this noise outside. And this is in October, just getting cold, and it's loud. So I go and I open the door. I mean, the windows were boarded up anyway. I opened the door and went out to the end of my courtyard, and I opened the door there, and I see hundreds of young people just standing around, a mob. It's something I never really saw before. I mean, I dealt with violence, but never a mob like that. And they were all standing there, and they were all mumbling, and something about Yehudi, a Jew, and I didn't understand what they wanted. I mean, everybody knew I was there. I was the only Jew living in the Old City. But there was a tremendous amount of noise, and I stood there pretty scared, but they were pretty scared too because they didn't know what to do. So all of a sudden we're all mumbling, and I try in my best English to ask. I just say, is there something I can do to help? What's going on? And I saw this shook them up a little bit, and they were talking among themselves, and the noise kept on. It was like, I don't know, feeling. And we were staring each other down, and nobody knew what to do. And little by little, they began to turn around and walk away. And I really didn't know what happened. But I went to sleep, and in the morning I discovered that there was an attempted bombing in Kolnoa Zion, in the Zion picture house. And then, cinema, movie. And then what happened is that the angry young kids on the Israeli side came and they attacked the youngsters in the Old City. They just came in and they started beating up kids wherever they found them. And the Arabs were afraid to do anything in retaliation because the whole area, on the walls, there were soldiers all the time at that time. So they just gathered together and they went to the only place where there was a Jew living, and they were going to do something to me, but they didn't know what. They were just there, angry. And the anger sort of spread itself out little by little, and they went away. So this is very frightening, and I only found out in the morning after when I went to talk to Ismail about it, this whole story that I told you, that they came, and finally they broke up because they didn't know what to do, and they knew that I was living there under his protection. And however, this is the way the story begins. So I took it in my stride, and I just kept on doing my thing there, going to the university, coming back, eating my Uncle Mustache, and being as friendly as I knew how. And one day I jacket at the time that I used to wear. I took it in for dry cleaning. There's a dry cleaning place around the corner. And I left it there. They wanted, I think, 3 pounds. We used pounds then and not shekels to do the cleaning. And I went away, and I'm going to leave the flower gate and take my walk until I get a bus to take me to the university. And as I'm going, a young kid comes running after me, and he's yelling, "Mr. Miller, Mr. Miller!" And I stop and I turn around, and he comes up, and I remember him now. I saw his face. He was within the dry cleaner's place. He was a kid working there, and he comes up and he pulls out 400 pounds, which at the time was a lot of money. And he said, "This was in your jacket pocket." So I said, "Well, thank you very much, but tell me, how did you know how to look for me and to know Mr. Miller?" And he said, "Well, it was easy. Everybody in the old city now knows Mr. Miller." And I just went out and I started asking, and they said they saw you going to the flower gate, so I ran after you and I caught up with you. And really from that point on, I felt completely at home in the old city up until the end of the year when I left. Although there were a few stories that are still to be told.